செய்திக் கதம்பம்.
இன்றைய செய்திக் கதம்பத்தில் பெருந்தலைவர் காமராஜரின் 122வது பிறந்தநாள் விழா கொண்டாட்டங்களில் பங்கேற்று ஆளுநர் திரு RN ரவி ஆற்றிய உரை மற்றும் மத்திய அரசின் சமூக வலைதள பதிவுகள் ஆகியவை இடம்பெறுகின்றன. பெருந்தலைவர் காமராஜரின் 122வது ஆண்டு பிறந்த தினத்தை கொண்டாடும் வகையில் விருதுநகரைச் சேர்ந்த தனியார் கல்வி நிறுவனம் ஏற்பாடு செய்திருந்த நிகழ்ச்சியில் ஆளுநர் திரு RN ரவி பங்கேற்றார். அப்போது அவர் பேசியதாவது:
Privileged to be part of an event to celebrate the 122nd birth anniversary of a great person, Kamarajar, perhaps one of the greatest persons that India has produced, that too at the place in the district where he was born. I first heard about our great Thiru Kamarajar when I was a middle school student. When I was a middle school student, he was the Chief Minister of Tamil Nadu. And later I kept hearing about him when I went to high school. Whenever I saw his photograph, the simplicity of the person, how simple he was. At the same time, a great person, you can see the feel of a halo of a great person, a personality. I didn't know much about politics at the time. I didn't know much about him, but then the fact that we had heard so much about him in the newspaper, All India Radio, we used to hear about Thiru Kamarajar. I became curious to know about his life, what kind of background, what kind of person he was. I started going into his background. I was wondering whether really such a person existed. Coming from such a poor background, he lost his father when he was a child. His mother brought him up in a very difficult situations. He could not continue his studies. But a person who had a larger vision, so much so that at the age of 16, when Jallianwala Bagh massacre happened, he jumped into politics. But he jumped into national freedom movement. At that, a young man at the age of 16, with no family background, nothing to support. And he continued serving the nation. A great admirer of Mahatma Gandhi, but in lifestyle perhaps he was even simpler than Mahatma Gandhi. A person who never ever cared for his own family. It is difficult to believe today that such a person existed. He was a person with utmost simplicity, person of integrity. When I got to know that, even when he became Chief Minister, he was getting a meager, small salary of 1,500 or so rupees. He was living in a rented house and used to pay 250 rupees rent from that house. His period as a Chief Minister of our state was the golden period. And in a short span of 9 years, he laid the foundation of a prosperous, beautiful Tamil Nadu. What he did in a period of 9 years, 1954 to 63, the first, he laid the foundation for education, opened thousands and thousands of new schools. No child should travel for more than a kilometer to study in a primary school and more than 5 kilometers to a high school. If today Tamil Nadu is among the front-ranking state in the country in terms of gross enrollment ratio, in terms of literacy, primarily the credit goes to Thiru Kamarajar. Not only he opened schools, thousands and thousands, but he also ensured that the students, the poor students, they stay in the school. There is no dropout, there is retention because there was so much poverty at that time. At that time, Tamil Nadu was as poor and backward as any other state of this country. So the poor students had to work to support the family, small children. He was the one who introduced midday meal. We all talk about midday meal in the whole country. He was the one who started midday meal for the first time. For the midday meal, I do not know how many of you are aware, he did not spend a pie of government money. He approached the people, those who had money, requested them to help them, and people trusted him so much that they knew that this money given to the Kamarajar will be spent for the purpose, not a pie will be wasted or will go away. A revolutionary step. Never ever anywhere this has happened in the country. Even wherever the midday meal are being held, it is not with the popular support, the government has to spend money. Because the people today in administration have lost people's trust. Not only in school education, he was also interested in higher education. When the country was thinking about IIT, Indian Institute of Technology, it was Thiru Kamarajar who got one of the first IIT Madras in Chennai. So he thought of his schools, he thought of higher education. Today, we very proudly say that Tamil Nadu is among the most industrialized state in the country. But who did it? Who laid the foundation? I heard the speakers before have mentioned some of the industries that were brought. But imagine, he knew that the students, when they study, when they grow, they must get job. And for job, there has to be industrialization. So he brought a large number of industries. Integral coach factory, Avadi tank factory, Bharat heavy electricals, refineries, so many of them giving jobs to lakhs of our students. Now can you imagine? He did not even pay much attention to his own mother. Somewhere you get tears in your eyes that look, such a self-sacrificing person. He was sending every month 120 rupees to his mother in the village. His mother did not stay with him with the chief minister's house. No. His mother stayed in the village and he was sending from his salary 1,500, 250 for house rent, 120 for mother's maintenance. I think we must not just remember him, but we must imbibe his values. I went through the school textbook of our state school board to find out where Kamarajar is. There is a small introduction, a small Kamarajar. Unless our people know, our children know about the life and sacrifices of this great man, how will they learn? Only when they read life and work of people like Thiru Kamarajar, it gives the children the motivation that yes, here was a great man who did not do anything for his family, he did everything for the people. A visionary who sacrificed his life for the people of the country and the people of Tamil Nadu.
மத்திய அரசின் சமூக வலைதள பதிவுகள். மத்திய அரசின் சட்ட அமைச்சகத்தின் நீதித்துறையால் ஆண்டு முழுவதும் நடத்தப்படும் நமது அரசியல் சாசனம் நமது பெருமை கொண்டாட்டத்தின் மண்டல நிகழ்வு உத்தரப்பிரதேசத்தின் பிரயாக்ராஜில் நாளை மறுநாள் நடைபெறவுள்ளது. திரிபுராவின் பிரபல விழாவான கர்ச்சி பூஜையை ஒட்டி பிரதமர் திரு நரேந்திர மோடி, உள்துறை அமைச்சர் திரு அமித்ஷா ஆகியோர் அம்மாநில மக்களுக்கு வாழ்த்து தெரிவித்துள்ளனர். இந்தூரில் ஏக் பெட் மா கி நாம் என்ற மரம் நடும் விழிப்புணர்வு பிரச்சாரத்தை மத்திய உள்துறை அமைச்சர் திரு அமித்ஷா இன்று தொடங்கி வைத்தார். இன்று ஒரே நாளில் இந்தூரில் 11 லட்சம் மரக்கன்றுகள் நடப்பட்டு உலக சாதனை படைக்கப்பட்டுள்ளது. கார்கில் வெற்றியின் 25 ஆண்டுகளை நினைவுகூரும் வகையில் கார்கில் வெற்றி தின வெள்ளி விழா இம்மாதம் 12ஆம் தேதி முதல் 26ஆம் தேதி வரை சர்சாவா விமானப்படை நிலையத்தில் இந்திய விமானப்படையால் கொண்டாடப்பட்டு வருகிறது.
இத்துடன் இன்றைய செய்திக் கதம்பம் நிறைவு பெறுகிறது.